transform your mind. The art of not caring. Every comment gets under your skin. Every rejection keeps you awake at night. Every small disappointment ruins your entire day. If this sounds like you, you're living life on everyone else's terms, and that needs to stop today. The truth is, you're giving away your power to people who don't even deserve a second of your mental energy. You're allowing strangers, situations, and circumstances to control your emotions, your mood, and ultimately, your life. But what if I told you that the most powerful people in the world have mastered one simple art? The art of not caring. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to become mentally untouchable. No more sleepless nights over what people think. No more anxiety about things you can't control. No more emotional roller coasters because someone had a bad opinion about you. Instead, you'll learn to move through life with the kind of calm confidence that makes people wonder, how does nothing ever bother them? Because once you master the art of not caring about the right things, you'll discover something incredible. You'll start caring deeply about what actually matters: your goals, your growth, your peace of mind. And when you make that shift, everything changes. So if you're ready to stop being everyone's emotional prisoner and start becoming the master of your own mind, keep watching. Because what you're about to learn will make you unstoppable. 1. Mastering selective indifference. Your mental energy is sacred. Your mental energy is the most valuable resource you have, yet you're giving it away for free to anyone who demands it. Every notification, every drama, every person's opinion, you treat them all as if they deserve equal attention. This is why you feel drained, overwhelmed, and constantly reactive. Here's what most people never realize. Your attention is currency, and you've been spending it like it's worthless. The strongest minds don't have unlimited energy. They have selective focus. They understand that not everything deserves their mental investment. Think of your mind like a premium nightclub. Not everyone gets in. There's a strict guest list, and the bouncer doesn't let just anyone through the door. Your thoughts, your concerns, your emotional responses, they should all go through the same filter. Does this deserve space in my mind? Will this matter in a week, a month, a year? Starting today, implement the Sacred Energy Protocol. Before you react to anything, a text, a comment, a situation, pause and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? If it doesn't directly impact your goals, your growth, or your peace, let it pass through you like air. Don't grab onto it. Don't feed it with your attention. Imagine someone posts something online that irritates you. The old you would immediately react, type a response, maybe even argue. But the new you see it, recognize it for what it is, someone else's issue, and scroll past. Why? Because your mental energy is reserved for building your empire, not defending it against every random opinion. When you master selective indifference, something powerful happens. People start to notice that you're unshakable. They wonder why nothing seems to bother you anymore. They respect the fact that you don't get pulled into every petty drama. You become someone who operates on a higher frequency. The next time you feel yourself getting triggered by something small, remember, your mental energy is sacred. Guard it like the precious resource it is. Only invest it in what truly deserves your attention. 2. The freedom of not needing to be right all the time. You argue with strangers on the internet. You correct people in conversations. You feel compelled to prove your point even when it doesn't matter. This need to be right is exhausting you, and worse, it's making you unlikable. People avoid debates with you because they know you'll turn everything into a battle. Here's the brutal truth. Your need to be right all the time isn't about intelligence. It's about insecurity. You're trying to validate your worth through victories in meaningless arguments. But the most confident people, they don't need to win every conversation. They know their value doesn't depend on proving others wrong. True power lies in being secure enough to let others be wrong without correcting them. Think about it. What happens when you win an argument with someone who will never change their mind? Nothing. You waste energy, create tension, and gain absolutely nothing valuable. The wise choose their battles. They understand that being right and needing to prove you're right are two completely different things. Practice the silent victory technique. The next time someone says something you disagree with, instead of immediately correcting them, pause. Ask yourself, will correcting this person change anything meaningful? If the answer is no, simply smile and let them be wrong. Your silence isn't weakness, it's strategic superiority. Picture this. Someone at work states a fact incorrectly in a casual conversation. The old you would jump in immediately. Actually, that's not right. But the new you listen, maybe not, and move on. Why waste your breath on someone who isn't genuinely seeking truth? Your energy is too valuable for ego battles. While others exhaust themselves trying to convince everyone they're smart, you conserve your energy for what actually matters. While they create enemies through constant correction, you build respect through restraint. People start to see you as someone who's above petty arguments, someone who operates with quiet confidence. When you stop needing to be right all the time, people actually start listening more when you do speak. Your words carry weight because they're rare and intentional. You become known not as the person who argues about everything, but as the person who chooses wisdom over ego. The next time you feel that urge to correct someone, remember, your peace is more valuable than being right. Let them be wrong and walk away knowing you chose strength over ego. 3. Stop taking everything personally. It's not about you. Someone gives you a weird look and you spend the rest of the day wondering what you did wrong. A friend doesn't text back immediately and you assume they're mad at you. Your boss seems stressed and you think it's because of your performance. You're living in a prison of your own making, turning every neutral interaction into evidence that something's wrong with you. Here's the reality check you need. Most people are too busy dealing with their own problems to spend time plotting against you. That person who seemed rude, they probably just got bad news. The friend who didn't respond, they're likely overwhelmed with their own life. You're not the main character in everyone else's story, and that's actually liberating. When you understand that other people's behavior is a reflection of their internal state, not a judgment of your worth, everything changes. Their mood, their tone, their reactions. It's about what's happening in their world, not yours. You stop being the victim of everyone else's emotions and start being the observer of human behavior. Implement the "it's them, not me" filter. Every time you feel personally attacked or slighted, immediately ask yourself, what might be going on in their life right now? Maybe they're stressed about money, dealing with family issues, or just having a bad day. This simple shift moves you from reactive victim to understanding observer. Your coworker snaps at you during a meeting. The old you would replay that interaction all day, wondering what you did to deserve that treatment. But the new you recognize the signs. They've been working late, their project is behind schedule, and they're under pressure from management. It wasn't about you at all. You just happened to be there when their stress overflowed. The most emotionally intelligent people understand this. When someone is truly happy and at peace, they don't lash out at others. Hurt people hurt people. Insecure people try to make others feel insecure. Their behavior is their confession of what's really going on inside them. When you stop taking things personally, you become emotionally bulletproof. Comments that used to ruin your day now bounce off you like rain on an umbrella. You move through life with a calm confidence because you know that other people's storms don't have to become your storms. The next time someone's behavior bothers you, remember, their actions are about them, not you. Don't absorb their energy, observe it, understand it, and let it pass right through you. 4. The power of mental boundaries. What deserves your attention? You have no mental boundaries. Your mind is like a house with no doors. Anyone can walk in and leave their emotional baggage behind. Coworkers dump their complaints on you. Friends share their drama and expect you to carry it. Social media floods your mind with everyone else's problems. You're mentally exhausted because you're processing everyone's issues except your own. Here's what nobody teaches you. Your mind is not a public dumping ground. Just like you wouldn't let strangers walk into your home and rearrange your furniture, you shouldn't let random thoughts, problems, and emotions take up residence in your head. The strongest people are mental gatekeepers. They decide what gets in and what stays out. Your attention is not a human right that everyone deserves. It's a privilege that must be earned. Think of your mental energy like an exclusive VIP section. Not everyone gets access. You have 3 categories of attention: immediate family and close friends, your goals and growth, and genuine emergencies. Everything else, it doesn't make the cut. Create the attention audit system. Before you engage with any information, conversation, or situation, ask yourself 3 questions. Does this move me toward my goals? Is this person someone whose opinion actually matters in my life? Will engaging with this make me better or just busier? If you can't answer yes to at least one, it doesn't deserve your mental bandwidth. Your colleague wants to spend lunch complaining about management again. The old you would listen politely, absorb their negativity, and carry it around all afternoon. But the new you? You politely redirect. I understand you're frustrated, but I use my lunch break to recharge. Maybe speak to HR about your concerns. You protect your mental space while still being professional. While others become emotional dumping grounds for anyone with a problem, you become a fortress of focus. While they scatter their attention across 100 meaningless concerns, you laser focus on what truly matters. They end each day drained and reactive. You end each day energized and intentional. When you establish strong mental boundaries, something incredible happens. People start respecting your headspace. They stop treating you like their personal therapist. They recognize that your attention is valuable, and when you do give it to them, they appreciate it more. You become known as someone who's present, focused, and impossible to distract. Starting today, become the CEO of your own mind. Decide what deserves office space in your thoughts and evict everything else. Your mental real estate is too valuable to rent out for free. 5. Emotional detachment versus cold indifference. Know the difference. You're afraid that not caring will make you heartless. You think emotional detachment means becoming a cold, unfeeling robot. So you stay trapped in the cycle of caring too much about everything, absorbing every emotion around you because you believe that's what makes you a good person. But you're confusing compassion with codependency, empathy with emotional slavery. Here's the distinction that will change your life. Emotional detachment is not about feeling nothing. It's about choosing what you feel. It's not indifference, it's intelligent selectivity. A surgeon cares deeply about saving lives, but they don't break down crying during every operation. They detach from the drama to focus on what matters most. Cold indifference says, I don't care about anything. Emotional detachment says, I care deeply about the right things. One is numbing yourself to avoid pain. The other is sharpening your focus to maximize impact. When you're emotionally detached, you can still love, still help, still connect, but you do it from a position of strength, not desperation. Practice compassionate detachment. You can acknowledge someone's pain without absorbing it. You can help without taking responsibility for their emotions. When someone shares a problem with you, respond with, I hear you and I care about you. What do you think would help you most right now? This shows care while maintaining your emotional boundaries. Your friend calls crying about the same relationship problem for the 10th time this month. Cold indifference would be hanging up or ignoring them. Emotional detachment is listening with compassion, offering perspective, but not carrying their emotional weight home with you. You care about their well-being without making their crisis your crisis. The cold person builds walls to keep everyone out. The emotionally detached person builds filters to let the right energy in. The cold person says, that's not my problem. The detached person says, I care about you, but I won't let your problem become my burden.
The most caring people in the world, therapists, doctors, teachers, leaders, they all master emotional detachment. Not because they don't care, but because they care so much that they need to protect their ability to help. When you're emotionally flooded, you can't think clearly, you can't offer real solutions, you can't be the strong presence others need. When you master compassionate detachment, you become more helpful, not less. People start seeking your advice because you can see clearly through their emotional fog. You become the calm voice of reason, the steady presence that others rely on. You care more effectively because you care more strategically. The next time someone needs your support, remember, you can care without carrying. Be present without absorbing. Love without losing yourself in their chaos. 6. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't matter. You justify every decision to everyone. You explain why you chose that career, why you dress that way, why you didn't attend that party. You write paragraphs defending your choices to people whose opinions have zero impact on your actual life. You're exhausting yourself trying to make everyone understand you. And here's the brutal truth: most of them don't even care that much. Your need to explain yourself comes from a deep fear of being misunderstood or judged. But here's what you're missing: the people who matter will understand you without lengthy explanations. And the people who don't understand you don't matter enough to deserve those explanations. You're giving away your power every time you feel compelled to justify your existence to someone else. Confident people don't explain, they simply are. Think about the most self-assured individuals you know. They don't spend time convincing others that their choices are valid. They make decisions based on their values, their goals, their vision, and they let their results speak for themselves. Your life is not a court case where you need to present evidence to justify your choices. Implement the information diet. Classify people into 3 categories: inner circle, family and close friends; professional circle, colleagues and mentors; and everyone else. Inner circle gets full context when they ask. Professional circle gets relevant information for work purposes. Everyone else gets polite acknowledgement. That's just what works for me, or I'm comfortable with my decision. Someone questions why you're not drinking at a party. The old you would launch into a detailed explanation about your health goals, your workout routine, how alcohol affects your sleep. The new you? I'm good with water tonight, thanks. No justification needed, no defense required. Your choice stands on its own. While others exhaust themselves writing essays to defend their breakfast choices, you move through life with quiet certainty. While they seek permission through explanation, you simply act with purpose. They drain their energy convincing others. You preserve yours for actual living. The moment you stop explaining yourself to everyone, something powerful happens. People start respecting your boundaries more. They recognize that you don't need their approval to live your life. Your silence becomes more commanding than any explanation ever was. You become someone who operates with conviction, not validation. When you master the art of non-explanation, you reclaim hours of your life and massive amounts of mental energy. You stop being the defendant in everyone else's court and start being the judge of your own choices. People begin to see you as someone who knows exactly who they are and doesn't need anyone's permission to be it. The next time someone questions your choices, remember, your decisions don't need their approval. A simple, "that works for me," is a complete sentence. Stop defending your life and start living it unapologetically. 7. The art of strategic ignorance. What to ignore for success.
You consume every piece of news, every opinion, every update about everything happening everywhere. You follow every controversy, debate every topic, and stay informed about things that have absolutely no impact on your life or goals. You think this makes you well-informed, but it's actually making you mentally scattered and emotionally reactive to things you can't control. Here's what successful people understand that most don't. Ignorance, when used strategically, is a superpower. The most focused minds deliberately ignore vast amounts of information that others consider important. They understand that attention is finite, and every minute spent consuming irrelevant information is a minute stolen from building something meaningful. There's a difference between being uninformed and being strategically ignorant. Being uninformed means you don't know things you should know for your goals and responsibilities. Being strategically ignorant means you deliberately choose not to consume information that doesn't serve your mission. It's not about being ignorant, it's about being selective with your mental bandwidth. Implement the relevance filter system. Before consuming any information, ask yourself, does knowing this help me achieve my goals, improve my skills, or enhance my relationships? If it doesn't pass this test, ignore it completely. Stop following news that makes you angry but powerless to change anything. Stop engaging in debates about topics that don't affect your life. While everyone else is arguing about the latest political controversy on social media, you're learning a new skill that advances your career. While they're consuming hours of news about problems they can't solve, you're working on problems you can solve. They end the day informed but frustrated. You end the day focused and productive. The average person knows about 100 different global problems and can solve none of them. The strategically ignorant person knows about 3 problems in their sphere of influence and actively works to solve all 3. One creates anxiety without action. The other creates results with intention. The most successful entrepreneurs, creators, and leaders are not the most informed about everything. They're the most informed about their specific domain. They ignore 99% of the noise to focus on the 1% of signal that actually matters for their mission. Their ignorance of irrelevant topics is precisely what allows them to master relevant ones. When you master strategic ignorance, your mind becomes a laser instead of a flashlight. Instead of dimly illuminating everything, you powerfully focus on what matters. You stop being a know-it-all about nothing important and become a master of something valuable. People start coming to you not because you know about everything, but because you're an expert at what actually counts. Starting today, audit your information diet. Cut out everything that informs you but doesn't transform you. Your success depends not on knowing everything, but on knowing the right things deeply. 8. Building immunity to drama and negativity. You get sucked into every workplace gossip session. You absorb the complaints of negative people around you. You find yourself getting pulled into family drama, friend conflicts, and social media arguments that have nothing to do with your life. It's like you have no immune system against other people's toxicity. Their negativity becomes your negativity. Their drama becomes your stress. Here's what you need to understand. Negative energy is contagious, but only if you let it infect you. Drama spreads like a virus, jumping from person to person, but you can build immunity to it. The strongest people don't avoid negative situations. They move through them untouched. They've developed an internal shield that deflects toxicity before it can take root. Think of yourself as having an emotional immune system. Just like your body fights off physical infections, your mind can fight off emotional infections. When someone tries to dump their negativity on you, you don't have to absorb it. You can acknowledge it exists without making it yours. You become like water. Negativity flows off you instead of sticking to you. Master the emotional Teflon technique. When someone starts spreading negativity around you, visualize it bouncing off an invisible shield. Use phrases like, "That sounds really challenging for you," or "I can see why that would be frustrating." You're acknowledging their experience without absorbing their energy. Then redirect. What are you planning to do about it? This puts the focus back on solutions, not complaints. Your coworker approaches your desk to complain about management for the 5th time this week. The old you would listen, agree, maybe even add your own complaints, and walk away feeling drained. The new you listen briefly, say, "That does sound difficult," and then redirect. "Have you considered speaking with HR about it?" You show empathy without becoming their emotional dumping ground.
While others become sponges that absorb every negative emotion around them, you become a mirror that reflects it back to its source. While they collect drama like souvenirs, you let it pass through you like smoke. They end conversations heavy with other people's problems. You end them light and productive. The most emotionally resilient people understand this. You can care about someone's situation without carrying their emotional weight. You can be supportive without being a storage unit for their negativity. In fact, when you refuse to enable their complaining, you often help them more than when you join in. When you build immunity to drama and negativity, you become a magnet for positive people and opportunities. Toxic individuals start avoiding you because they know you won't feed their drama. Meanwhile, emotionally healthy people gravitate toward you because they recognize your strength and stability. You become known as someone who brings solutions, not problems. The next time someone tries to infect you with their negativity, remember, you have a choice. You can absorb it and make it yours, or you can deflect it and stay in your power. Build your immunity starting today. 9. The confidence of not needing everyone's approval.
You check your phone constantly to see how many likes your post got. You modify your opinions based on the room you're in. You say yes to things you don't want to do because you're afraid of disappointing people. You're living your entire life through the lens of what will they think, and it's suffocating you. Every decision becomes a referendum on whether you'll be accepted or rejected. Here's the harsh reality. The approval you're desperately seeking is an illusion. Even if you get everyone to like you today, you'll have to perform the same circus act tomorrow to keep their approval. You're chasing something that can never be permanently won, only temporarily rented. Meanwhile, you're losing the only approval that actually matters, your own. True confidence isn't about getting everyone to like you, it's about being completely okay with the fact that some people won't. When you need everyone's approval, you have no one's respect, including your own. But when you stop seeking universal validation, something magical happens. You start attracting the right people and repelling the wrong ones. Practice the Approval Detox Challenge. For the next week, make one decision each day based purely on what you want, not what others expect. Wear something that makes you happy but might not be trendy. Express an opinion that's genuinely yours, even if it's unpopular. Say no to an invitation you don't actually want to accept. Watch how liberating it feels to choose yourself. Your friends want to go to an expensive restaurant you can't afford and don't enjoy. The old you would go anyway, stress about money, and pretend to have fun just to fit in. The new you? I'm not feeling that place tonight, but have an amazing time. Let's catch up soon. No long explanation, no guilt, no desperate attempt to please everyone. While approval seekers shape-shift to match every room they enter, you remain authentically yourself everywhere you go. While they exhaust themselves trying to be everything to everyone, you conserve energy by being true to yourself. They're liked by many, but known by none. You're understood by few, but deeply valued by those who matter. The people whose approval you're desperately seeking, they respect those who don't need their approval. It's a paradox. The less you chase validation, the more naturally it comes. When you stop performing for others, you start attracting people who appreciate the real you, not the version you think they want to see. When you stop needing everyone's approval, you discover something incredible. You start approving of yourself. Your self-worth stops fluctuating based on external feedback and becomes steady, grounded in your own values and integrity. People begin to see you as someone who knows their worth and doesn't negotiate it for acceptance. The next time you feel yourself about to modify your authentic self for someone else's approval, pause. Remember, their opinion of you is not your reality. Choose yourself and watch how much more confident you become when you're not performing for an audience. 10. Moving in silence. Let your results do the talking. You announce every goal on social media before you've even started.
You tell everyone about your new business idea, your fitness plan, your self-improvement journey. You seek validation for your intentions instead of your achievements. But here's what's happening. You're getting a dopamine hit from talking about your plans, which tricks your brain into thinking you've already accomplished something. You're literally talking yourself out of success. The most successful people you know don't talk about what they're going to do. They simply do it and let you discover their results. They understand that words are cheap, plans are common, but execution is rare. While others are busy announcing their intentions, they're quietly building their empire. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. Stop being a broadcaster and start being a builder. Every minute you spend explaining your vision to people who can't help you achieve it is a minute stolen from actually working toward it. The market doesn't care about your plans. It only rewards your results. Your followers don't need updates on your progress. They need proof of your achievement. Implement the silent execution protocol. For every goal you set, tell no one except people who can directly help you achieve it. Mentors, accountability partners, essential team members. Replace announcement posts with action items. Instead of starting my new workout routine tomorrow, just start working out. Let people notice the changes in you rather than hearing about your plans from you. You decide to learn a new skill that could advance your career. The old you would post about it, talk about it at lunch, maybe even update your LinkedIn with your learning journey. The new you simply start learning. 6 months later, when you use that skill to get promoted or land a better job, that's when people find out. Your results announce themselves. While others exhaust their energy seeking applause for their intentions, you channel that energy into execution. While they collect likes for their announcements, you collect victories through your actions. They talk about transformation, you become the transformation. They promise change, you deliver results. There's a psychological phenomenon at play here. When you talk about your goals, your brain releases the same satisfaction chemicals as if you'd already achieved them. You literally reduce your motivation to succeed by announcing your plans. The most driven individuals understand this and weaponize silence as a tool for sustained focus. When you master the art of moving in silence, something powerful happens. People stop seeing you as someone who talks about doing things and start seeing you as someone who simply does things. Your reputation shifts from full of plans to full of results. When you finally do speak about your achievements, people listen because they know you back up your words with action. The next time you feel the urge to announce your next big move, resist. Let your work speak before your words do. Because in the end, the world doesn't remember what you said you were going to do, it remembers what you actually did. Stop talking about the person you're going to become and start becoming that person in silence. Your future self will thank you when the results speak louder than any announcement ever could. Conclusion. So there you have it, the complete blueprint for transforming your mind through the art of not caring. You've learned to guard your mental energy like the sacred resource it is. You've discovered how to move through life without needing to be right about everything or taking every comment personally. You now understand the difference between emotional detachment and cold indifference, and you have the tools to build immunity against drama and negativity. When you implement these strategies, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become the master of your responses. You stop seeking everyone's approval and start living from your own center of power. Most importantly, you learn to move in silence and let your results do all the talking. But here's the thing. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. The real transformation happens when you take these concepts and apply them starting today. Choose one technique from this video and commit to practicing it for the next 7 days. Watch how different your life feels when you're no longer carrying everyone else's emotional baggage. If this video helped you see things differently, hit that like button. It tells me you want more content like this. And I'm curious, which of these techniques resonated with you the most? Drop a comment below and let me know which strategy you're going to implement first. Your insights might help someone else who's struggling with the same challenges. This is exactly the kind of mindset content we dive deep into here at Limitless Mindflow.
If you're serious about developing unshakable mental strength and want more strategies like these, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that notification bell too, because YouTube doesn't always show you the videos that could transform your life. And speaking of transformation, your journey doesn't stop here. I've got another powerful video queued up that builds perfectly on what you just learned. It's appearing on your screen right now, and it's going to show you how to turn this mental strength into real-world success. Remember, the strongest people aren't those who never face challenges. They're the ones who remain unshaken when challenges come. You now have the blueprint. The question is, will you use it? Keep building that limitless mindset, and I'll see you in the next video.